Hello, good evening everyone. So for today we would like to present our first topic, which is theories related to ICT integration in terms of use, implementation and interaction of ICT. Let me introduce myself. My name is Fatin Latif, and as you can see in the list also there has another 3 presenter that will present to you about this topic. Okay, so let's go to introduction. So what is ICT integration? So ICT integration is an effective use of digital technologies to enhance the productivity, communication and learning. Okay, as you can see, for nowadays there's a many sector using an ICT, which is education, business, government as well, a community. Okay, and we focus now in education. Okay, what is the ICT integration in terms of education? Is used for teaching and learning, and will implement to the student to make sure they will understand what they are learning in the class. Okay, by using the tools of pedagogical. Then we go to the importance of ICT integration. So in this point, we would like to mention all the 3 sectors, which is the first in education, second is business, the third will be in governance. So in education, alright, in education it can be enhanced the teaching and learning. It can be enabled to interact the students and teachers and experience the use of multimedia and technologies. As you can see now, we have a lot of application software in education sector as well to improve their knowledge, to improve their understanding by using the various of technology. And we go to the business, which is boosting productivity and efficiency. Okay, for nowadays also each of the factory that has a technology to make sure it can be done in just less than hours. It can be just less than minutes to make sure one product will be done, and will be automation task will be speed up operation and have a good team work in terms of using digital collaborations. Okay, and for the governance, improving public service. Okay, especially in paying tax, LHDN. If you want to, in Malaysia, if we want to claim our tax, we have to go to the LHDN website, and you have to fill in. Okay, and there will be another step, which is that you have to share your documents, share the receipt, the payment, and submit it. Okay, and also not for paying tax only, you can also pay license in online. No need to go to the office. Okay, no need to spend our time to drive and go. Everything will be in online. And also there is in paying road tax, car road tax, everything also in online.
Hello everyone, my name is Melissa and I will be introducing about the Technology Acceptance Model, TAM or TAM. Right? This model is basically introduced by Davis in 1986 to explain users' acceptance behavior, particularly in the use of technology. So there are 4 main constructs here. First, perceived usefulness. Second, perceived ease of use, attitude, and lastly, behavioral intention to use. Now, and according to Ma and Yu in 2011, perceived usefulness and perceived ease of use form an end user's beliefs on any technology and therefore predict his or her attitude toward the technology, which in turn predicts its acceptance. So basically, what it is trying to say here is that perceived usefulness and perceived ease of use will influence the attitude that a person has towards technology, and this can predict to whether or not this person will use technology in their life. Okay, moving on to the next slide. Right, so here is the framework of the model, and this is the original framework of the model, and it starts with the external variables. So external variable here is basically the factors that can affect perceived usefulness and perceived ease of use. Right, for example, gender, culture, experience, age, and many more. So external variable or factors that can affect perceived usefulness and perceived ease of use is past, right? So there is no specific guideline or specific element that we can say it's that can only fall under external variables. So whatever that can affect how people perceive the use and the ease of use of a technology, that will fall under the external variable. Now, moving on to perceived usefulness, here it is basically the understanding of how useful technology is in improving productivity. So, thoughts will be um, will it help me do my work better? Will it make my work more efficient? Right? So these are the thoughts that a person might think of when we look into perceived usefulness. As for perceived ease of use, this is the understanding of how easy technology is to learn and to use. So a person might think of um, is it going to take a lot of my time and energy to learn this? Is it complicated to learn it? Do I have to do this all the time to be an expert in using technology? So, those are some of the thoughts that a person might think about when we are talking about perceived ease of use. Now, moving on to attitude. So, attitude here is basically it's either you have a positive attitude or a negative attitude, and these attitudes are influenced by the perceived usefulness and perceived ease of use, right? So if a person thinks that it is easy to use and it is useful to use, therefore the attitude could be more positive. But if a person feel that it is not useful and that it is very difficult to use, therefore the attitude might be leaning towards a more negative attitude, right? So that is what it means by attitude towards the use of technology here. And moving on to behavioral intention to use. Now, behavioral intention to use here also influence is also influenced by the attitude that a person have initially. If it is positive, if the attitude is positive, therefore it will lead to the use of system very likely, right? But if the attitude towards the technology is negative, therefore it is very unlikely that a person might use the system or technology itself, right? So that is the explanation to this model. Moving on to the application of technology acceptance model in education. So this model is widely used, right? Not just in education, but here I just want to focus on education. Okay, so it is a model that is very powerful and very valid for predicting and explaining users' acceptance of technology, right? And here are the examples of studies that support the predictive validity of this model itself. Now, why is it very important that technology acceptance model is used is because it helps educators and policymakers to better understand the factors that influence the adoption of technology in schools or in universities, right? Now, by understanding these factors, it will then help it will then help this organization to design more effective learning tools and strategies, right? So, overall, the idea of this model is that it gives insights into how and why teachers and students adopt technology, right? Or in general, why and how people use technology. And by understanding these key constructs within this model, it helps to enhance the implementation of technology in education, right? So that is all for me. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Wang Runyou. I will present the theory of plant behavior. The theory of plant behavior was proposed by Axon 1991 as a framework for predicting and explaining human behavior. It suggests that an individual's behavioral intention is the best predictor of actual behavior and is influenced by three key factors. The first is the attitude toward behavior. A person's positive or negative evaluation of a behavior. The second is subjective norms, the perceived social pressure to perform or not perform the behavior. The third is perceived behavioral control, the perceived easy or difficulty of performing of behavior lists. How does TPD apply to ICT adoption? TPD helps analyze whether teachers will are willing to adopt ICT and identify influencing factors. The first is attitude toward behavior. Positive impacts. If teachers believe ICT enhances teaching quality, they are more likely to use it. Negative impacts. If teachers think ICT is too complex or disrupts traditional teaching, they may resist adoption. The second is subjective norms, positive impacts. If school leaders, colleges, or education process promotes ICT, teachers are more likely to adopt it. Negative impacts. If the teaching community does not support ICT, teachers may be less inclined to use it. Third is perceived behavioral control, positive impacts if school provided sufficient training and technical support, teachers feel more confident using ICT. Negative impacts if teachers lack technological skills or skills like resources, they may hesitate to adopt ICT. For example, ICT adoption in schools, implementing in learning in a school. Some teachers decide to use online teaching platforms. We can enhance ATB, share success stories, demonstrating how ICT improves teaching, and stressing as an school leaders enforce policies enhancing ICT use and boosting PPC, provide ICT training programs to increase teachers' confidence. Um, we can for our outcome, we can increase the behavioral intention among teachers, leading to higher ICT adoption rates. And this page is about strengths and limitations of TPB. For strengths, um, integrated personal attitudes, social influence, and perceived capability, offering a comprehensive behavioral production model. The second is can be applied in education, business, and government ICT adoption strategies. There are some limitations. The first is about assumes that people make rational decisions, but in reality, emotions and habits also play a role in ICT adoption. The second is doesn't consider external factors such as funding, institutional policies, which can significantly impact ICT implementation. In concluding, TPD helps explain teachers' willingness to adopt ICT and provides strategies to increase adoption rates. Key factors to promoting ICT adoption. The first is promote improve attitude, show the benefits of ICT. The second is strengthening subjective norms, institutional and the peer supports. The second is enhance perceived behavioral control, provide the training and the technical assistance to build confidence. And this is about my references. And that's all. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Gao Jie. My part is to introduce the consensus use model, which is also known as the 4 stages of learning any new skill. This model is usually attributed to Neil Birch, who developed this framework for Gordon Training International in the 1970s. Many people may not be familiar with Gordon Training International. This is an institution that focuses on behavior models and training methods. Neil Birch's 4-stage model was initially used for the training of corporate employees and was later widely introduced into the fields of education and personal development, becoming one of the cornerstones of psychology and instructional design. It is mainly used to describe the consensus and ability in learning. And then let's talk about it. First, unconsensus incompetence. The individual is unaware of their lack of skill. And second, consensus incompetence. The individual becomes aware of their deficiency. Then, consensus competence. The individual can perform the skill with deliberate effort. And finally, unconsensus competence. The skill becomes second nature and can be performed effortless. And then it comes to the application of the consensus use model in ICT. The first stage, as teacher or new employees in the workplace, we may have no knowledge at all about new technologies such as Excel or a learning management system. At this time, we are not even aware that we can't use them. The second stage, when we realized the importance of these tools but found ourselves having difficulties in operating them, we enter the consensus incompetence stage. At this time, we need systematic training, such as the mentorship programs mentioned by scholars like Tesser. And then the third stage, after receiving training, we are able to use these tools, but we need to think deliberately about every step of the operation, just like a person who has just learned to drive and holds the steering wheel tightly. Then the fourth stage, ultimately the technology will become our second nature. For example, we can process data with Excel while easily interacting with students, and the teaching efficiency will naturally be greatly improved. And CPA emphasizes the importance of consensus design, importance of consensus decision making and awareness in technology integration. It involves several key components. First is consensus. Educators and students must be aware of the available technologies and understand their potential impacts on learning outcomes and educational practice. For example, do they know that AI tools can provide personalized feedback to students? And then internationally, there is a need to consensusly select and integrate technologies based on specific educational goals and outcomes. Educators must assess how each tool aligns with their teaching psychology and learning objectives. For example, the selection of an interactive platform is to enhance participation rather than blindly following the trend. And the last part is in the process of applying this awareness model, educators should be encouraged to critically analyze and evaluate the impact of information and communication technologies on their teaching methods and students' learning experience. Through continuous reflection, we can ensure that technology favors the essence of education rather than becoming a burden. Okay, that's all. Thank
In
you.
conclusion of this topic that me and my friends already present, okay, there were three topics that is mentioned. First is technology acceptance model. The second, theory of plant behavior, and the last is conscious competence model complements. Okay, all these three theories are very related to ICT integration, which is how you're going to use the ICT, how you're going to use the technology, how you're going to implement the technology, and how as individual how to use it, and as a team how we're going to collaborate with the technologies and the ICT as well. So by these models is to provide a framework for understanding not only why people adopt technologies, and also how they're going to use as a progress, okay, until they're using it effectively over the time. So that's all from us. Thank you so much for listening. I really hope you guys enjoy it. I really hope that you guys understand what we try to explain to everyone. And thank you so much. I'll see you around. Bye.